What is up, guys? It is Knas here again, playing War Thunder. I think it was 6 or 7 months ago I last played War Thunder, or at least filmed it for you. And I did mention in a pretty recent Star Citizen video that War Thunder had a lot of issues that kind of kept me from playing it. But nevertheless, I thought, I promised you simulator content. So I thought at least I'd show you that. And I think it will go well, but I can't give any promises. We'll see. I will play American aircraft during this video because they at least feel, well, I wouldn't say balanced because I've noticed it's a bit easy with them right now. But at the same time, I kind of don't want to show you guys me getting shot down all the time. So I will stick to American aircraft this time, and we'll see how it will go. So without any further ado, let's start showing you guys what simulated battles is all about. So guys, first thing I'm gonna show you is a test flight, because that's the easiest way of learning the basics of simulated battles. The first thing you gotta think of is that you are in a cockpit. You can't look like this. At least you can do it in third person. You can watch in third person when you are on the landing strip or you're standing still, but the second you start moving, you will be restricted to your cockpit, and you can't get a view from outside unless you have a virtual reality thing like Oculus Rift, where you can tilt your head outside the aircraft and just get a little bit more view of it. Otherwise, you won't get that. You will be restricted to the cockpit, and not much more than that. However, with something called Track IR or ED Tracker, you can actually move your head a little bit better. But at the moment, I'm using mouse and keyboard, and I'm holding C like you do in realistic and in. Can this guy shut up, please? Yeah, I'm holding C like you do in realistic and arcade, and you can look around like this. That's pretty much the first you're gonna do in simulated battles. If you don't have, or I have keyboard and mouse for this video, because most of you people probably don't have a joystick. I didn't have a joystick till at least. I got a joystick this autumn, but I haven't used it that much because I noticed it's really hard to play without a sort of not a face tracker, but a head tracking equipment like ED Tracker or Track IR, because moving the head so you can actually see behind you and see where the enemy planes are is really hard if you only thing you have is kind of your thumb to move around a hat switch on your joystick. But otherwise, yeah, holding C and moving around the mouse, and then you really C and move around the mouse will toggle you from viewing mode and steering mode, basically. So we're gonna start off the plane with clicking on I, which will start the engine. This is the first thing people get confused about, because usually the engine is on by default, but it isn't anymore. You gotta press I to ignite the engine. And then you will start to thrust, and the first thing you see is the plane start rocking a lot. So you gotta counter that with your E and Q, or basically your jaw movements with the rudder. You will use the rudder a lot more now here than you will do in both arcade and realistic. And this is a mistake a lot of people do. They tend to try to take off the second their aircraft gets speed enough to lift. Don't do that. At least get your aircraft on the ground until you have like 210 to 230 kilometers an hour, even more depending on the plane you're flying, because that will give you a much more stable takeoff. Because if you try to lift too early, there will be a chance that your aircraft will flip over and you will crash immediately. That was the problem I did. That's the thing I did all the time in the beginning, and it just kept me crashing all the time. So we are in the air. It wasn't too bad. Just some simple things to keep in mind. Keeping in the air is a little bit harder, at least for new players, because you are used to the more simplified aircraft mechanics and the air models. But there are a lot more things in motion and things around here, mechanics, physics, stuff like that actually matters in here. And if you do that wrong, it can end you up on the ground, crashed, burning, and dead. First off is stalling. You will stall in simulated battle. It will happen all the time because no one is perfect enough to never stall in your aircraft. Stalling basically means getting so low speed or getting no air under your wings, basically losing your lift capability. So I'm just gonna show you a simple stall by just flying straight up and losing all my airspeed. You can also see up in the top corner there that my speed is resembled in IAS, or IAS, which means initial airspeed. And what that means is it's not the speed I have related to the ground, but more the speed as how much wind I have or how much air I get under my wings. And that is very important to have in simulated battles, because there you will see how fast you can go, or at least see if you will stall or not. If you use your speed in what it's called again, from the ground, basically in your speed compared to the ground. Sorry, that's the wrong way of saying it. I can't get the word right now. It can look like you're flying really fast, but you can still stall because the air might be much thinner of where you are. Like if you're flying at 4K altitude, or 4 kilometers, it will happen that you can fly really fast from a ground perspective, but you fly really slow from an air perspective. I just can't get the words around it, sorry about that. But basically you need enough air and enough speed to get lift, and if you don't have the right measures of your speed, you can easily do mistakes, which makes you stall. So that's another thing you gotta change. You can do that in settings. So we're in the air. I showed you a simple stall there by just flying straight off, but there are a lot more and harder stalls than that. That was a simple stall. It kind of is straightened out by itself. Let's do a flat spin or a snap roll. Let's do that. So we're gonna just turn really fast, and you can see, oh, there we go, snap roll, and we are flying around like all hell. What should we do now? Kill the engine. Try to control the aircraft. Try to make it face down, and just go straight down. Get enough speed, around 300 kilometers an hour. Turn on the engine again, and you're up. Don't try to combat it too much. Just make it fall straight down. You can't, if you start trying to get a speed or try to turn away from the flat spin, you'll just end up flat spinning even worse. Also, this is a very important thing to show you guys, because this also shows you the meaning of having altitude in simulated battles. If you do this mistake at low altitude, you have simply no chance of getting out of it. You will die. You need at least 300 meters if you're good of fall speed or fall time to get out of a flat spin. Otherwise, you will die. So try to at least always be over 1.5 kilometers. That's my tip for you guys. So I showed you taking off. I showed you getting out of spins. It's a bit too easy, like not too easy, but a bit too simple explanation I kind of gave you there. But it's hard to actually explain it in a good way. The best way of actually learning this is by experience. That's the only thing I can tell you. You will crash, you will die a lot of times from spinning or crashing in takeoffs and landings and all that stuff. But you will learn from that, and you will know what you did wrong and how you will prevent it in the future. The only kind of tips I give you is keep a good airspeed. Don't try to lose too much energy, and always keep a good altitude. Unless you're landing, of course, because you can't land in mid-air, basically. It was a stupid thing to say. Yeah, so I showed you that. I think the last thing we can show you guys is some attack moves, basically. Because tactics is a lot more important here. It's not as easy as just turning around with the aircraft you're chasing and do all that kind of stuff. Because your aircraft has a lot more limits now than it has had before. So So we're gonna start off with the easiest thing ever, and it's basically ground attack. You can see my aircraft kind of wobbled there, and that's because I did a bit. That's a problem I have personally. I just can't get my aircraft to stand still while I'm aiming. But there are ways of making that easier. Just dealing with that. You need to be stable and slow movements, and just crashing a tree there. Just don't be too harsh on the controls. If you are, you will crash, or not crash, but you will not be able to do it as good as you could be. So let's land. Landing in simulator battles needs a lot more coordination and planning than I do in realistic and arcade battles, because a lot more things can go wrong. And this is some of the harder steps in simulator battles, just because you will go down at dangerously low speeds, which can get you down into stalls and everything. So what you need to know is a lot more things about your plane. What stall speeds does it have? How good is it at slowing down / speeding up and everything like that. And you gotta get yourself an approach that matches your plane the best. And most of the times you don't have that much time to actually change that while you are landing. Most airfields are pretty small, and you need to plan ahead before you land, because when you are landing, you will either have to land or just try to speed up again and get out of there. But most of the time you won't have the time for that. So we're gonna slow down. We're actually still going too fast. We're gonna go a bit lower and see, because when we are diving we are getting speed and we don't want that. I want to get down to around 270, I'd say 260 maybe even, and just try to keep ourselves at that speed and try not to turn too much. 250 sounds like a really good speed. I'm still doing pretty dangerous here. I'm gonna put down the gear. We're gonna go down. Oh, this is dangerous landing. Dangerous landing. Don't do like me. Yeah, when I'm doing guides, you can just do not like me and you will probably do better. Oh, this plane is not the best aircraft to show off landings with. I've actually tried a lot of times with this. Come on, land. Yeah, that was an awful landing, really. The Mustang is tricky to land with. Holy shit, it's like a bouncing ball. I have never seen this before. But basically, you need to plan ahead, give it a good approach, get down to a speed where you don't stall, but at the same time you won't bounce and fly around like I did here, and just plan it out basically. Don't fly too slow, don't fly too fast, don't come in too steep, but not too low either. Or actually, going in pretty low is pretty good, but don't just don't crash into a tree. Otherwise, I think it's all set. It's pretty easy like that. After that, just reduce the speed. You can shoot. By shooting, you reduce the speed pretty much, a lot. But you also make yourself a target for enemy planes, which will see your tracers. So be careful when shooting. So guys, I will now show you some simulator battles where I will try to get some aircraft kills and try to show you guys some more tactics in how to play simulator battles. What is up guys, I am back and I am in an enduring confrontation game. This is pretty much what has replaced simulator battles in War Thunder, at least for air battles. In tank battles you can still fly aircraft and play tanks, but not in like an enduring confrontation kind of way. So, as you can see, some aircraft are locked and some are not even available. We have to wait for those. You can see 40 minutes, 4 minutes, 44 minutes. But this one is open. So right now I can only play the P51 D5 Mustang. And I think this is a pretty bad thing to do, honestly. Because, you know, sometimes you just want to play that plane and only that plane. You don't want to wait 15 minutes to play that plane. But that's what Jajan did. You'll be returned to menu if you continue to remain inactive. No, I'm not gonna continue that. Gonna start engine, as I showed you guys. And just look around a little bit, see if it's all coast is clear. You don't have to do that, but I just did that because of drama. Start off, we're gonna fly off, take off, come on. Also forgot to mention you guys, you can use flaps for takeoff. I usually do that. Get up to speeds where you want to take off, you put up takeoff flaps, you lift, and then you get up the gear and take up the flaps to race again. Used to basically get a bit of a faster and cleaner takeoff. So I will cut back to when we see an enemy, or at least get to altitude. First thing we gotta do is to climb and get up to a high energy level, just like in realistic battles. You need to remain, or you need to have a lot of energy over your enemies if you're gonna win against them in a dogfight or whatever. So I'll be back when we got some altitude and when we see an enemy to fight. So guys, I am back, and I have gotten myself a pretty good altitude at 2.8. It's pretty much right under the cloud layer, and I saw some enemies. But I can see them right now. But here's the thing, I'm gonna see if you guys can find them. Basically, this is one of the hardest things in the simulator, one of the harder things to learn in simulator battles. Because there are no ways of finding enemies. Like, there's no like hints or anything. Okay, I saw one battle down below. Do you see the enemy? Right there, do you see him? So you need to be able to, you need to learn, because you won't be able to see this from the beginning. Right? No one does that. Maybe like some real natural talent is able to actually spot these kind of aircraft from this high of an altitude. At their first try. There's no chance that you will notice from the beginning. Everyone will learn. I didn't know it. I learned after maybe like 2 weeks of playing or something. I got pretty good at spotting aircraft. But before then you will have problems finding your enemies. So you got a pretty good approach. Ah, but there I messed it up. And that looks either like a Wunderbolt, which we call them. It's basically a German Thunderbolt. No, it's just shot those colored tracers, which usually means it's German aircraft altogether. What plane is that? It's much fatter than normal German planes. What I'm doing right now is, by the way, really stupid. I shouldn't be doing this. I was turned around, but this guy is so focused with the enemy bomber that he's basically not gonna dodge me or anything. He's not gonna try to... Oh, don't do that. Oh, man. I fucked up bad. Okay, wait, we got another one. Let's see if we can... Oh, wow, I almost shot my friend. Oh, holy shit, look at this. I'm so bad at aiming. Okay, I got a BF-109. And there looks to be an aircraft right under me. And then he's gonna slow down. Make him overshoot a little bit. Or he's just gonna shoot me instead. I have no clue which one he's gonna do. Oh, he's right next to me. Right next to me. There he is. Okay. So the real problem starts now. Oh, by the way, you see this big yellow text right in front of me? Yeah, that's probably a bug. Set him on fire. Oh, this is doing good. As I said, I think it's a... I don't think actually I said that this time. The Americans have a bit of a thing right now. I think we are a bit unbalanced. It shouldn't be this easy to kill German planes. But right now it's happening, and I thought, you know what? To show you guys American planes, or not American planes, but simulator in general, I don't want to show you guys me being shot down all the time. So I'm gonna go a bit easy mode now. I think it's a bit easy mode right for this moment, because playing American planes has never been this easy against, especially against Germans. It usually has been pretty balanced between Focke-Wulfs and P-51s, but right now it just feels weird. I'm gonna be honest with you. But still, some of the important things to note is still relevant. like, you know, keeping altitude and having the speed and everything. So it's still, I think it's pretty good for the educational content, you could say. So you guys, you can see right now I am chased by a German plane and he's catching up to me. It's probably a D9 or a D13 or at least a D series Focke-Wulf. It's pretty fast. We're gonna try some tactics and not do what I just did here. Fuck. G-lock. Holy shit. Thank you very much, War Thunder. I don't even know what I did there. I just rolled. Yeah guys, I'll be back on a new aircraft. That was silly. Okay guys, I am back. It looks like there is an enemy aircraft right in front of us. Oh yes, that's an enemy. You see that? No name tag or anything. So we gotta be careful with this guy. He had a pretty good energy situation right there, but as well did I. So we're gonna see. Okay, so he just got him under me there. I'm not gonna dive down on him, but we gotta keep an eye on where he is. There he is. I know spotting in YouTube is a bit harder than actually in game, but you will notice these kind of black shapes of the aircraft. Oh fuck, it's two of them. And that's basically what you're gonna try looking for when you are fighting these aircraft. You can lose them, especially if they're going down against the ground, because then it's really easy for them to blend in with the surroundings and you can just easily lose them. Oh, let's see if we get a shot on him. Oh, we both got down a bit too close to each other there. We're gonna try to see. Where is he? Where is he? Oh man, as I said, down to the ground. I can't see him right now. Oh, fuck me, he got me. Yeah, that was... No, actually, I think that was another guy. There were two of them. Yep. Yeah, he's going to another aircraft, basically. So guys, I got myself a new aircraft this time. This is the P-47 Thunderbolt. It took me 15 minutes to release this from the start of the game. And why I actually started recording while we are still at the airfield is because I'm gonna show you guys another thing to simulate bells. This is especially good on some aircraft. You shouldn't do this on all aircraft, but the P-47 is one of those where this is a really good thing to do. So you need to go to settings to actually fix this, but I wouldn't recommend doing it from the start because it's a bit more tricky with these what's it called again? New mechanics in it. And if you hear the big screenshot sound, it's because I accidentally had engine controls mode and screenshot on the same key. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change our mixture to 79%. It's of course different to different aircraft, but on the P-47 this is a pretty good thing to do. And we're gonna turn down the radiator to 0. Why? Well, the mixture, first of all, it just gets better with a better configuration for the aircraft. And the radiator basically acts like a, well, you could say a air brake. Nearly, it's just these big flaps on the nose that just reduces speed so much. And by taking them away, you can get almost 9 kilometers an hour faster just by doing that. So it's a really good thing to do. But you should definitely not do it on all aircraft. And you need to keep a close eye on the aircraft and some things like the oil and engine temperatures, just to make sure you don't get overheated, which is a really big problem if you do this. So we just came right into the battle, so we don't need to actually cut here or anything. It's we got straight in. Looks like the Spitfire shot down one of the aircraft, but it's not yet done. We can see enemies right ahead. It looks like a battle between a bomber and a fighter, but we're gonna check this. As you can see there, I'm kind of shit talking in the chat there, talking about their confrontation. Yeah, that's an enemy. But yeah, we're gonna see if we can get closer before he kills the bomber, because actually having a bomber as like a kind of distraction would be really good. Oh, look at that, he's going straight up stall maneuver. This is gonna end bad for him. If I can get my shots off, please don't fail the shots. Oh, where'd he go? Come on. Still going for the bomber. If we can get closer to him, I'm just gonna VEP all the way. Yes, do that. Do exactly that. Got some hits on him. We got damage to his cooling system. Trying to make me overshoot, but that's not gonna happen. That's 8 50 caliber guns for you. It's pretty devastating. So we got our third kill, and as I said, I think right now it's a bit too easy. I think something is a bit overpowered with American aircraft. I actually haven't faced American aircraft in Germans yet, so I can't tell from their perspective. It might just be the Germans that are underpowered, which they always are, or it's just the Americans that are overpowered right now. And in either case, I got 3 kills, which is pretty rare, or was rare in simulated battles. Right now in during confrontation, it just you get how many kills you want basically if you stay long enough. My engine is grossly overheated, so I'm gonna put up my radiator to a really high percentage just to cool down the engine and let it calm down. So another good way of actually finding your enemies is looking at the map. Enemy aircraft fields will flash if there's friendlies around them, and if there are friendlies around them, there might be enemies around them. Friendly airfields will flash if there are enemy planes around them. Also, your teammates, sorry about that, and yourself also can use the fast commandos like the T-42 and the T-41 to show you guys where enemies are. Right now, you can also do that by just clicking on the map. So there might be an enemy around there, it might be a friendly or whatever, or just some interesting point. You can try a fly there and check it out. It's a good way of cooperating with your team to make sure you guys can help each other and find enemies and etc. So right now I can see an enemy ahead of me, but it's still a while away, so I'm just gonna get back to when we're closer. We're closing in at the targeted plane, and we're gonna see if it is an enemy or a friend. This could very well be an allied aircraft, and those other planes, they're the smaller ones. Yeah, that looks like a B-17 in my eyes. Yep, but that... Oh yes, this is good. Perfect. Oh, fuel fire. Crash and burn, baby, crash and burn. Oh, get on another one. So that was an Me-410B. It's a pretty notorious bomber killer, but not a very good fighter. So we're gonna see here. If, yeah, try to get down. Try to avoid his fire, try to find him. Gonna go down, get some speed up. Go down into deep dive. So this is where things like track IR are really good, because you can move around and at the same time have a good look at your enemies and see how they are moving. So if you feel like you will play this a lot, a track IR or is a head tracking, head movement tracking device is very much recommended. Oh, okay, I saw the wrong aircraft. What is that? Oh, that's the Me-410. I could easily outmaneuver that one. I'm just gonna try to not crash and burn. Here we go. Where is he? We're gonna... I accidentally trimmed my aircraft, so now I need to just retrim it all the time. Yeah, clicking T on your aircraft by default will kind of trim your aircraft, which is good when you are let's say again, damaged, especially on your wings, and you lose lift on some wings. You can easily use then trim the aircraft and fly easier. But that's another plane. They are pairing up on me. I'm just gonna do some S-turns. Oh, that's the Focke-Wulf D version. Oh, I'm just gonna reduce my radiator, get more speed out in this thing, scream it out. I'm gonna die anyways, you know what? If I die by burning up or die by getting shot out, doesn't really matter at this point. It looks to me that I am in deep troubles indeed. Oh, look at that, that's 2 of them. Oh, we're gonna try to do something else. I can't kill them, so I'm just gonna get up my radiator again, and I'm gonna go low. So this is another tactic, and I wouldn't recommend this to the very new player because it needs a lot of precision flying. By the way, what we can do is click command for help, which also by standard is pressing T, then 4, then 2. I changed it to Y because T is the trim button and I don't want to trim every time I want to call for help. Oh no! Yeah, I messed up. I accidentally flew. Yeah, as I said, it's a lot of precision flying. If you do something too hasty, you will just die. So guys, I wanted to end there because I thought it was a nice last point to show you how good it is to have a teammate that helps you in your fights. Teamwork is pretty much the best thing you can have in Simulator, because if you make some sort of a move wrong, if you get an approach wrong or anything like that, you could easily get outmaneuvered and killed by the enemy. But if you have a friend and you do something wrong, that friend can easily correct that mistake from you and help you overcome the situation. So if you get a wrong approach on an enemy, the enemy gets the upper hand on you, you still have your friend who can stop the enemy and help you out. And, you know, in worst case, maybe just save you from dying, but maybe not get the kill. And in best case, you guys get the kill. And yeah, that's the last point that I wanted to make there. Otherwise, I think I've mentioned it all in this video. It was a bit of a brief tutorial. I wouldn't say it's a good one, but at the same time, I think kind of got the basics of it. Take off, think about speed, think about the oh, what is it called again? Never mind. Basically, how your aircraft moves around. It has a special name, but I just completely forgot it, and it's very annoying that I don't know the word. But just keep that in mind. Also, the speed at which you are taking off. Don't take off in too low speeds, or you will crash. Also, don't take off too fast, or your landing gear will break. But you know, it's a lot of things to think about. And in air, don't get too low on speeds or you will stall. Try to always keep a pretty good altitude. Altitude advantage is key against your enemies because having the more energy than the other one will help you win in the late, or you know, in the end of it all. Also, teamwork, very good to have. And in landing, plan ahead, get a good approach. Don't go in too fast. Don't go in too high. And make sure you actually know, make sure you can actually land on that strip. Otherwise, I think that's it for this video. I didn't play particularly well this game, even though I got 4 kills. I kind of feel like I died too much and didn't do well enough. As a last thing, I'm gonna show you guys how much I earned this game, and you can expect to earn this kind of money in all simulator games, mostly, if you get kills, of course. Otherwise, you can actually lose money, but here it is. I earned 22,417 after repairs, so it's not before repairs, it's after repairs. I earned 50,000 initially. Then I got, let's see here, looks like 14,689 experience, which is really nice. Also, I got 644 researching progress on my plane, the P-51D30. And that's also one of the good things in simulated battles. You get a lot higher rewards and a lot more experience for the games. Right now I'm pretty low on money, but at the point I had over 2 million lions that I just earned from games. But I haven't played in a while and haven't played very seriously, so I've just kind of used up a lot of my money. But I think that's it from me for this video. I kind of hope you enjoyed it, or not kind. I hope you enjoyed the video. even though I can't say it was the best one I've made. But yeah, otherwise, that's it from me. Knos out.